Greetings, listeners, and welcome to the premier radio broadcast in the Alexander Bay area. Living is pointless. Existence is futile. There is no reason to continue our persistence in this frail reality. Do not hope for any answers to the universe's questions. We breathe in the cold aether. Space fills our lungs. I look at myself in the mirror. I see the weakness of self. My perception evaporates. The mirror becomes part of my world. My eyes, my vision, is encapsulated by meaningless reflections. The smiling void stares back at me. It taunts me, laughing at my agony. There is no room for commiseration in this empty realm. Only the cruel joke of being, played upon my withered soul. I apologize for that digressive foray into the machinations of my mind. Sometimes the voices get a little too loud, and I forget where I am. Let's get right into the news, shall we? Our intern up at Alexander Bay Academy has reported strange noises are coming from Dr. Hansford's research tent. The noises have been described as a combination of shrieking, howling, screaming, moaning, uttering, ululating, humming, shouting, screeching, yelping, yawning, wailing, and sobbing. It is as of yet unknown what the origins of these obscure sounds are. We once again tried to contact Dr. Hansford for comment, but we were turned away and intercepted by Major Logan, the press liaison for the Violet Berets. The Major, with a portly belly befitting a person who has seen decades of military service and now enjoys a cozy position as an officer in charge of public relations, dressed in a stark black uniform, decorated with several medals of unknown classification above his left nipple, and wearing the requisite violet beret with a rank insignia sewn into the front, is every bit as stern and stoic as one would expect of such a man. Though he's been here for several weeks now, not one single resident of our humble community has witnessed the Major crack a smile, no matter how subdued or infinitesimal. Not even old lady Meliora. "Nope, not once," she told us when we reached out to her for comment. However, despite the Major's seemingly cold and calculated exterior, we here at the Alexander Bay Sentinel have been brainstorming over the last few weeks and have finally devised a way to dupe the Major and sneak past the military blockade. Then we will finally be able to divulge the true goings-on within the research camp. More on our plan later in the show. For now, let's go to traffic. In a dizzying display of the effectiveness of our local branch of the RCMP, the police were involved in a high-speed car chase through town yesterday. Several police cruisers were engaged in hot pursuit of a black muscle car that matches the description of the one that appeared and then just as suddenly disappeared out on the Traytown access road last month. The police erected spike strips and a vehicular blockade by the bridge to the nearby hamlet of Culls Harbor and successfully halted the vehicle. "Ha! I've got you now, you filthy animals," Police Chief Wyndham Daniels was reported as saying, mere seconds before the spike strips did their job to the utmost effectiveness. When the officers approached the halted car, with their pistols drawn, they tapped on the window and ordered the occupants to roll the window down. When they rolled it down, there was nothing on the other side. Do you remember last month when I made an offhand comment about a ghost car? And now we go to the world of sports. Champion archer Alistair Doyle has made the incredibly bold claim that he can shoot more arrows than you can shake a stick at. Who specifically he was referring to in that statement is unknown, as is the means of properly measuring an arrow firing to stick shaking ratio, but he has made the claim regardless. In memory of the passing of the late Mickey Burton, the local hockey arena, Glovertown Gardens, has been renamed the Burton Center. Over the past few weeks, crowds of passionate hockey fans have gathered in the rink's bleachers to watch the Alexander Bay Jackalopes face off against the Traytown Hostiles in a tournament to end all tournaments, as described by Jackalopes coach Craig Dunn. The audience of the most recent game was enraptured by the ability of the young whippersnappers out on the ice. The game was reportedly going highly in favor of the Hostiles until a mysterious spectral figure appeared out of thin air in the middle of the ice and stole the puck from the children. Weaving in and out of the little devils, the figure took a slap shot and fired the puck straight past the goalie and into the Hostiles' net. The crowd went wild, and the game was tied between the two teams. The spectral figure reportedly stuck around for the duration of the period and scored a few more goals for the Jackalopes, putting the game at a 5-3 score ratio in favor of the home. While the validity of a team winning a game based upon the surprise appearance of a ghost is dubious at best, almost all of the people in the stadium agreed that it was Mickey Burton's spirit risen from the grave to give those dastardly Traytown Hostiles what for. We've received reports that the town of Salvage, out by the Eastport area, has potentially completely disappeared from the face of the island. What caused the disappearance isn't known, as it has been some time since anybody from our part of the island has visited the area. So really, where these reports came from is a complete mystery. They are vague, nebulous, obfuscated reports from a vague, nebulous, obfuscated source. The plot thickens when you realize that nobody from Eastport ever goes to Salvage. There is literally no reason to visit the town. In fact, the town is so small, we likely wouldn't notice if it vanished entirely from existence. Oh. Wait a minute. And now for our musical feature of the show, a song from Montreal-based grunge rockers, Deadbeat Poet Society.
There is no single savior to mold the weary mortal life. No clock will turn steady march of time. A panacea that might spare us from the cold fields of fact comes not from the factory, lost arts of selfless act.
Beyond the soul's control, the shells of the soul, a shield of meaning held high with mechanical devotion. Even the silence of most unnatural suffering. The best is yet to come, they cry. Swift death may be good fortune, and so we await the heavenly manna.
Voice of destruction parades. Once scarred and dull, the pride will fade. Though fear not dying, but outliving hatred. Undead steel and poisoned patriots. The world never to be the same. For fleeting power, forever change. God's command, the device in every
Before we get into the final segment of the show, where I will divulge our plan to sneak our intern into the research camp, we'd like to introduce a new segment that we haven't done before. This segment is called Cryptid Corner. In this segment, we offer news and opinions about cryptid sightings in and around our humble community. The gods know there are enough of them. In this episode, we take a look at an elusive creature that most find difficult to catch a good glimpse of, the Newfoundland Sasquatch, also known as the down-home Bigfoot. The Sasquatch is an 8-foot-tall, ape-like humanoid being that is postulated to be as widespread as California to Alaska and across the American Midwest. While to the naked, untrained eye, one might assume that the American Sasquatch and the Newfoundland Sasquatch are the same species. However, this is simply not true. They are in fact two separate species and can be told apart with a few subtle but telltale differences. For example, the American Sasquatch has black fur, while the Newfoundland Sasquatch has lighter brown fur. The American Sasquatch may often live in families of several big feet, while the Newfoundland Sasquatch takes a more solitary, isolationist, free agent approach to its interactions with others. The American Sasquatch favors red wine and smooth jazz, while the Newfoundland Sasquatch wouldn't be caught dead without a black horse in its hand and throwing down to some sick horrorcore. These obvious differences won't make themselves known at a cursory glance, so you'd be forgiven for making the mistake of misidentifying the separate species. Just don't make the mistake of saying that to its face. The down-home Bigfoot doesn't like being compared to its counterpart south of the border. This has been Cryptid Corner. And now, dear listeners, it's time for us to reveal our top secret plan to break into Dr. Jeremy Hansford's top secret research camp, which is undoubtedly studying top secret knowledge, given the presence of the Violet Berets, live on the provincial airwaves for everybody to hear. So, our top secret plan is... Hang on, what's that noise? Huh? What's the meaning of this?
Put your hands in the air.
But I've done nothing wrong.
Comply or face the consequences.
Ow! What the devil? Hey, knock it off.
You're coming with us. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
I'm sorry, listeners. It appears as though I'm being detained. I must go, against my will, mind you. But before I do, a proverb. A good man is hard to find, but good aliens are everywhere if